Hello, everyone. Halloween is a very strange holiday. Personally, I don't understand it. I don't know, kids worshiping ghosts, pretending to be devils. Things on TV that are completely inappropriate for younger viewers.
Buffoonery. And you are tight with friends, but you're not going to be tight with him until you actually poop next to each other. When you're pooping next to another man, you're pretty tight.
Things like the following half hour. Nothing seems to bother my kids, but tonight's show, which I totally wash my hands of, is really scary. So if you have sensitive children, maybe you should tuck them into bed early tonight instead of writing us angry letters tomorrow. Thanks for your attention.
Hey Ryan, why don't you pull up Amazon's margins real quick?
Well, I'd have more of a grin on my face than Stephen Hawking on Epstein's Island.
I'm off as a smug cock when he said that.
Wow, fiscal philosophy, you're not very smart at all. You screw up, cash flow kings. Dissector, you are an idiot.
Hello, fellow high-yield dividend warriors. Welcome back to Saturday Night Live with the Cash Flow King. Tonight, joining me is The Undertaker, or Fiscal Philosophy. Fiscal Philosophy is not very smart at all, one could say. He not very smart. He don't understand about the income. He don't do very good with the lady boys and not very much else. But hello, Fiscal Philosophy. Welcome into the Saturday Night Live.
For months, I have been prophesizing that two stocks would go up, High Tide and Grab, and today they are up.
Hello, everybody. It's Saturday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm not going more than 30 seconds without the Khmer impression. Welcome back, everybody. It's Saturday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, or 7:30 Eastern, technically. Sorry for the push-up, everybody. The special intro, though, could not possibly... It couldn't be delayed or denied, Fiscal, could it?
It was special.
Now, speaking of something special, Fiscal, would we like to describe our costumes? And while we're on the topic of special people and special things, I think I'll start with mine first. This year, I'm going as We the Khmers, Hayo Dividend Warrior. Fiscal did guess it last week, so for those, Peter also predicted this like months back, but I had this pre-planned for a while. Hello, Hayo Dividend Warriors. I have my crew neck on, my wet hat, and my glasses, so it's going to be a very active night tonight, not sexually, because sexual behaviors are very inappropriate on We the Khmers. We don't endorse sexual behaviors.
Right.
It's going to be an hour of learning and education, and no buffoonery will be tolerated.
Of course. And I predicted it because the Undertaker prophesizes things, just like he predicted the greater power back in the 1990s during the Attitude Era. So, here you go. I'm the Undertaker. And by the way, the whole there's like a whole backstory behind me doing the Undertaker. When I started working at the place I work now, there was just like a random guy that was on the team. He doesn't even work there anymore, but he just like one day was like, "You look a lot like the Undertaker." And at the time I thought, like, is this guy like messing with me or something? But over the years I have embraced my like passing resemblance to the Taker, the dead man. And I figured what better costume, considering I think we've been sort of almost the whole year kind of hinting a little bit at something
yeah.
might involve the Undertaker at some point. And
Yeah.
so I bought a sort of nice, expensive hat that's pretty similar in style to what he
How much
wears.
did it cost? We didn't put it on company debit card either. So
the hat was like $30. Not too bad.
That's a high spender for some of our audience might be different tonight since I'm going as Khmer. We might have that's a high income product.
I wish I had some income from Yield Max in order to help pay for it, but came out of
it's the Halloween special. I don't want it to get too scary tonight, Fiscal. I don't want it to be too scary.
Right. We don't want to have it become rated R like the last one.
Arr. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have a good year to pre-plan next year's costume. So I think we gotta, go big or go home next year. But tonight I will be switching with the wee Khmer accent and the Wine Dingling show accent. So we're gonna be going from one to another. And first, I want to discuss some of the inappropriate behaviors that you could be doing tonight. Fiscal philosophy. It's 7:40 p.m. And right now, a lot of inappropriate stuff is going on. It's Halloween weekend. A lot of people are doing inappropriate Halloween activities. What could you possibly be doing right now at Saturday, 7:40 p.m. Eastern? That let's just say are endangered this weekend specifically.
Yeah, you could be getting tombstone pile drivered through the Hell in a Cell 16.5 feet down into the announcer's table.
Yeah,
you could be up to some buffoonery.
So you could be doing some buffoonery right now in a college dormitory room.
Sexual behaviors,
inappropriate sexual behaviors. You could
be taking a dump next to another guy.
You could be
to get close.
I'll do that impersonation later. That's you could be like we tell you on dividends and be getting banned from separate discords in a very inappropriate behaviors.
Could be eating too much candy and getting diabetes. There's a lot of bad things you could be doing.
Yeah, I had a moment of question today, Fiscal. I was driving home from a long day of BJJ. Was not my best day. I'll admit it. I'm driving down the road on the way home. I'm tired. I haven't ate yet. I'm ready to just go home, do some Cash Flow Kings, eat some steak. And down the road, right by the campus, you see a bunch of underdressed people. Let's just say, I'm going to keep it very vague. A bunch of underdressed people who are ready to go out tonight. They're going to get fried. They're going to do drugs, not dividend stocks, you could even say.
Yep.
Bad things. You're seeing people with their cheeks out, not in a good way. I mean, depends how you want to interpret it.
I mean,
not good stuff. I had a moment of reflection. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? But then I realized I'm a high yield dividend warrior, and that the high yield dividend warrior does not get anticipated by what others think, like the trolls and growth investors.
Maybe next year I'll go as a white knight.
Maybe I'll be tactical shoe shiner next year. I won't sleep for like an entire month. I'll try and bulk for the whole year.
All you gotta do, you gotta just show up with like a bunch of hot dogs.
All right, guys. Fire. I got a hot dog stand in the background. While we're on the topic of the shoe shiner, though, the shoe shiner is a criminal. I think he's entered like Class A level scammer territory. Fiscal. Did you see what I put out today earlier on the Discord?
No, so earlier today I got tied up on something from work that was carried over from last night, and then I actually had to go to the office to get the chair that leans back all the way so that I could spring up at the beginning of the show for effect. So
that's what we do for the Cash Flow Kings.
Yeah. So I haven't really looked at much today, so it's fresh to me.
So I think Tactical Shoe Shiner has, he must have some reoccurring expenses from the hospital that he was telling everybody heavily about last month. Members are banking. Touch and hold played out perfectly. We used to SPY you a 4-time leveraged SPY fund. Another winner on the overnight swing. 16-0 on my trade since I started the membership group. The members are banking.
Oh,
now Fiscal, that's not good, is it?
That's dirty, bro. That's dirty. I'm
It's on
sorry,
one
but
of his
like
channel.
the trading guru group thing is just, it's kind of the most grifty, disgusting thing you can do on YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't. I was actually surprised. I thought, the shoe shiner's not a man that I'd exactly look up to for morals, but he's making Graham Stephan look like a choir boy.
For a guy that plays the victim, he's got some audacity to be like, we're trading the 4 times leveraged, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Members are 16-0 on trades. That's something,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, if you could really call it 16 for 16, you could start with like $1,000 and be a multimillionaire. If you could really call trades 16 for 16, just saying, like if you were really like that level of certainty about the outcome. So I have questions. Like, why does he still have a hot dog stand if he's that good?
Why do you have so many questions? Why do you have a hot dog stand? How old are you really? Lots of questions.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, I never sit here and claim like my trade timing is like really great and all that. It's the exact, even when a stock goes like really well, like I happen to pick something at the bottom and like get a really good return. I never am like, I'm great at timing the look at what I did with the chart, because I really didn't. I just thought it looked cheap and happened to time it well coincidentally.
Yeah. Hot dogs have good ROI and you're touching wieners all day. I mean, maybe Khmer and the shoe shiner can start kind of a collaboration business. Khmer can expand, East Coast if he wants.
Just eat a few of those hot dogs and you'll be shitting next to each other in no time.
Pooping next to another man, and they're going to be pooping tight.
That's how they're going to get so close.
While we're on the topic of pooping, Fiscal, something that did come up this week when it comes to related stocks was with Mickey D's. Now, we've had on terms of certain channels that come onto the Cash Flow Kings that talk about Mickey D's in a positive or negative light. People like Dan Weston, they love McDonald's. How could they not? People like Dividend Dude, they didn't like McDonald's, and now they like it because it's on sale. So I think we got to get that debate set up first and foremost. I want the Double D's versus Dan Weston debate sometime in November, December. I think that'd be fun. Second of all, Mickey D's was down. It got down to like 10%, but I don't think it ever actually like hit there for trading market hours or whatever.
Oh, was it like in the pre-market or something? And then
pre-market it was like 10%. Then I got to like 4% when I woke up. So
yeah, this is the thing. Like McDonald's, even down.
Say 10%, his name and he appears. Dividend Dude's in the chat.
Nice. It's still like even at a 10% discount, it would still kind of be at a premium, to be honest. And just I think if you're looking for something that's going to be safe and consistent and a good store of value, probably McDonald's it's similar to Coca-Cola in that sense. Like they're for the most part, very predictable business, and you're not going to lose a lot of real value in the underlying business overnight or anything like that. However, you're also not going to beat the market buying McDonald's and Coca-Cola. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Like, hey, maybe the S&P 500 returns 1% a year for the next 10 years, and McDonald's does 5%, and you do beat the market. I don't know.
It's only the 5-year chart method that counts.
I just don't think it's the most likely scenario.
Oh, Steve's coming in with a spooky message. Tap that like button before it's too late. Ooh.
Otherwise,
Steve is ready for this special episode. I know Steve he's all huddled up by his computer or phone. He's got a glass of cocoa or something, some popcorn. I know Steve was ready for this. Who couldn't be? The cash? This is like probably a top 3 hyped up episode of the year. I'd put this up there. I would put our Christmas, probably like the last show of the year.
The end of the year,
quote of the year. Quote of the year. Comments of the year. Like that's gonna be an entire episode.
We name all the major of the year titles go out at the end. It's pretty spectacular.
Wimone, you need to, somebody kick out Wimone. Somebody kick him out right now. You come out here, you make him hot. You banned. Out. You never talk again. Get him out there. Seymour Duck in the chat. Yeah, with McDonald's, it's like we went down 10%. It was only like 280 still, and I'm like, yeah, wow.
Yeah, and wasn't it still like 26 times earnings or something?
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
okay. Like I don't
I'm
think you're gonna take a big hit buying it after a 10% drop, but are you really gonna get a spectacular return? I doubt it.
yeah. I think it's a good. Yeah, it's hard for me because I got in at a really good price compared to
Yeah.
where it's at
And
now, at
and if
least.
you honestly, if you think the market overall is in for like a rough 10 years and you just want something that's gonna keep its value, like yeah, something like I think McDonald's and Coca-Cola are viewed as kind of like safety stocks for people.
I feel guilty saying this is dressed up as Khmer today, talking about guilty and conservative stocks because the market never gonna go down. You hear Elon Musk say the market never gonna go down.
Robo taxis.
Warren Betty.
Mhm.
One more, and you say one more thing in the chat. You banned. You banned out. Yeah. Oh, you see, Trump worked at McDonald's. Have we? Was that this week or?
I love this job. I could do this all day. Yeah.
I'm going to work at McDonald's. That
It-
has to be an all-time Trump clip for me. He's like, I wanted to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to work at McDonald's.
He
I
finally
just
found
said
his
it,
calling.
There's
How
just
nice.
nothing like specifically funny about it. It was just, by the way, everybody, the election night Cash Flow Kings that's going to be a show. I don't know how late we're staying up. I'm not staying up till 4 a.m. on a class night, but we could be up late. It's going to be a Cash Flow Kings special, we'll just say.
And dude, it's gonna be spooktacular.
Yeah, we could do some illegal underground bets too. If whoever thinks that like Kamala's gonna win can get like 5 free channel memberships. If it's Trump, then I don't know. Whoever you bet on. If you bet, you get a free channel membership essentially. Speaking of free channel memberships, make sure to tune in to next week's episode, which will be after hours, like 10 o'clock. For my birthday, we're gonna give away 5 free channel memberships for the month. There you're going.
Wow. That's the best value ever. You could say it's free money.
Yeah. Well, why wait a week though, Fiscal, to get access to those amazing perks that 5 people happen to be getting next week? Become a Cash Flow King channel member for only $199 a month. For $199 a month, you could do a whole lot of things. You could get Filipinian hooker. You could do inappropriate things, sexual behaviors, very bad things. You could perhaps buy your wife a Gucci or Louis bag.
Wow.
But you do, yeah. Priority to topics debate. Ask any channel member right now in the comment section if it's worth it, and they will say yes because they get some quality features, some exclusive episodes that are forbidden. You could even say.
We got somebody threatening to defect.
Oh no!
What is our number one stock to buy right now?
What's our number one stock?
Better 1000.
Yeah.
Or else he's gonna go to Jeremy if it doesn't.
And he has he has a Ferrari too. Geez, I don't know, dude. There's like nothing to buy. Fiscal, have you been actually buying recently, or you just kind of been doing the same thing we've been doing?
I've been chilling.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm looking to offload a couple of my like really small positions, as well as I have a long dated sold covered call on my Bank of America stock, and as soon as that expires, I'm gonna sell. Because I have an okay gain on it, I guess, and I just don't really. I'm not in love with bank stocks, so yeah, I'm gonna just I'm gonna heave ho Bank of America and a couple other things, free up a little bit of capital, and then start hunting for opportunities again. But
hey, if anybody can find the bank that has those liens against Tactical Shoeshiner's house, I'll invest all my portfolio in. I will do anything I can. I'll give them the board just so that's horrible. That's criminal.
So what I would say is of the things I currently hold, probably, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but Amazon and MPW are probably the best values that I have right now. I would have said Disney if it was still in the 80s as well, but it's it's getting close to 100 again. So
yeah. I mean, long term, I still think that's like reasonable. But if you want to really get it a steal, I think 80s was good.
Right. Yeah. And you know, MPW has dropped below $5 again, and 2 whale investors have just each taken stakes that are over 5%, because there's a report, there's like a thing you have to file if you own over 5% of a public company. And I just think it's kind of a coiled spring because it's still heavily shorted, still undervalued, and you know, for some reason it's cheaper today than it was a couple weeks ago. So still presents a good opportunity.
Ramon, what the flipping fuck? What the flippity fuck right now, Ramon? I gave you warning. I said you ban if you said it one more time. Navarosian, do not. You think you don't fucking understand about Navarosian? You don't understand Navarosian. That Navarosian never Navarosian. So why are you talking about Navarosian when you don't have the income? Somebody ban him. Unreal. Yes, Shamir. If you missed the intro, I highly recommend go back and watch that right now. One of our best works that we've done. Yeah, it's kind of a sad time to be an investor. It's like there's nothing like, honestly, if there's like one stock I had to buy, it would just index. But I mean, like individual stock, I think Amazon probably still.
BTI also, I forgot, because they dropped recently. Yeah, so they're back to like 4.5, 5 times free cash flow, that's just stupid cheap for that stock. So yeah, BTI, I think.
High Tide's been on a ridiculous run recently.
Sure
I think we should take all. I hate to take accountability, but it's recently passed $3. And okay, this is actually crazy. So this is from our show, which was a few weeks ago. This was literally when we had our show, the 25th to like 26th. Since then, it has gone up. Let's see. Since then, it has gone up. Somebody do the math here. I believe that would be.
What are the two numbers?
It's $2.04. $2.04 versus $3.
That's 50%.
Okay, I was gonna say thank you. You're all welcome. Google. I just for me, like, I think man.
I think that's fair. I think value wise, Google's pretty comparable to Amazon. So I think you could do just about as well buying Google as you could buying Amazon today at each of their respective prices. So
look at this. See, we put you on dividend, dude. We put them on. Small, yeah. I mean, is it like me and dividend dude probably have like the identical position. It's literally like
no. I'm super happy because I have 4,000 shares. I only
regret you loaded up.
I didn't load up after the drop from this last earnings because I was short on cash in my brokerage, and I was hoping it would stay down a little while longer. While because I actually just got my MPW dividend, so I would have been able to buy a bunch more High Tide shares with it. But it had already started to rip, and so I'm just like, I mean, I'm okay with 4,000 shares.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, you did good on that. Sony recently had a 5-to-1 stock split. If anyone's looking at it right now, so what you telling me is that Sony typically trade at $80 to $90, and now it's at $17. I'm gonna buy the dip on Sony. Sony, why would I not buy it? It's that cheap. How could I not buy Sony? So that is why I am buying Sony. Why?
Yeah, after the
Sony,
split,
why?
Okay, another good question from Mr. Fabio.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, I have a different name for him that I'm not going to say on stream for obvious reason, but Fabio knows. What company you guys currently hold that you think you might sell or at least excited about? Probably Kroger for me. Kroger's definitely on the chopping block.
Of anything I have that's not just like teeny tiny, probably I want an exit on Paramount after the Skydance merger goes through.
Oh yeah.
It just hasn't. They had better deals that would have gotten a much better return for Class B shareholders, but none of those happened. I'll probably end up with a very mediocre, very small return after the merger goes through, and that's fine. Like it's one of those that could have gone either way. Either it could have closed with one of the better offers, and I would have gotten like a 40% gain or something, or they could have gone with a crappy option where I might get like, I don't know, like 15% or something, and that looks like what it's going to end up being. So, ugh.
International stocks, Seymour Duck. We gotta have Seymour Duck on sometime. He believes that's where the play's at right now, like Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, I
Louis
think
an interesting play. It's like done stupidly good, and you think it wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: High Tide and BTI are both international, right? And they're two of my top 5. So
yeah,
there you go.
We love international exposure. We don't like body exposure, though. You don't want to go down the street.
And MPW has about 40% of its assets in other countries, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But what about Tesla?
I don't have any Tesla, unfortunately. I'm missing out on the cash flow.
Oh, another company that was down this week was Union Pacific, because Virtu brings up Canadian Pacific. UNP was down this week. It just seemed like a weak earnings report. So, I mean, I'm not particularly... That's another company I'm honestly pretty dull about, but I think it's around like fair value. I'd probably add like around 200 again. Railroads are railroads. They compound.
So, I mean, and here's the thing, like, in general, the freight market's been kind of weak lately. Yeah. So I would expect in a market that's not very busy, like if it's not super busy, like the railroads probably just aren't going to be banking, because the entire shipping and transportation sector is not killing it right now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect railroads to be killing it either. Now they have one feature that I like better than a traditional like transportation supply chain type company. Like the reason I would consider a Union Pacific, but I wouldn't really be into like a C.H. Robinson, is the railroads are so much less fragmented. They're basically either monopolies or oligopolies, depending on how you look at it, right? So you get a lot of the benefits that come from that. It's like, oh, I'll just go with a different railroad. Like it's not really a thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like Khmer's bear case on railroads would be the people that like used to jump the trains, like the hobos back in the days. You look at all the hobos, and what they're doing now is they're making the trains heavier. And if the trains are heavier, they have to use more fuel. So that's why the railroad companies are losing money right now.
Mm-hmm.
You need to look at it.
Yep, that's some Khmer level due diligence right there.
Oh, this is a good one earlier. I don't know how much we could speak on this, because these we're literally this is unlike us, Fiscal. We're a middle party here.
That's true. We're not really involved directly in the. So I haven't heard anything specific. I just heard that there's a split. Which it's weird because for context, for anybody that's watching that might not be familiar with Dividend Dude or Aria, both are friends of the show and have been on multiple times.
How you Dividend Warriors?
And for those of you on the X platform, I've done multiple spaces talks with both of them together. Like the three of us would, for like an hour, 2 hours, sometimes like even a little longer than that, just rambling about different stocks. And I always felt like it was a pretty good vibe. So I'm just not sure.
We don't know.
I'm not sure what to think here.
The cash flow king is on maturation arc is in full effect. We're not in the middle of it for once. It's weird. It's weird. It's nice. Yeah. It's nice and weird.
Yeah. No, I mean, there is definitely, a part of me that hopes that there's maybe a reconciliation so we can do some more of those spaces conversations on the X platform were a good time. So I'll definitely be sad.
Fiscal's crying over here. I had a little sniffle.
No, I actually, so I was at a concert last weekend, and I was in a very crowded venue, and I flew to LA and back, so like I probably caught a little cold. So yeah, that's what the sniffles are there.
You were in the
Unfortunately.
mosh pit, though. You were in the pit.
It wasn't really a mosh pit, but it was a very enthusiastic crowd of people near the stage and such. So there was some jostling and things like that, but
Oh,
I was the most jacked person there, of course. So so I was just, using my firm stance to prevent anybody from getting trampled.
yeah.
Anybody wants to trample somebody, they got to go through me.
Ramon, you're trying to set me off. What festival, Alan asks?
So this was it was at the Hollywood Palladium on Sunday. It was a band called Atarashi Gakko.
Oh, I know them very good. I know them. They're very, very young, attractive
I
ladies.
didn't know
in that
you were
band.
into Japanese music.
Oh, I love them. Oh, I love them. Come here, I love his Japanese music.
Okay.
We look at the bodies and some. Can I go there?
Wow.
I can't.
Steve coming in.
Some of these singers. The mosh pit flew.
Yeah. Which I've heard is like a thing you get from taking ecstasy. Like you get kind of like, because it raises your body temperature and stuff.
We don't do that though. We're
No. I've never ever taken any recreational drugs unless you count alcohol. And I didn't even drink when I was there, by the way. I just had water.
That's what a real man does on the Castle King. Enough for All right, Ramon is getting banned. You never come back to the Saturday Night Live again with the Castle King. No, goodbye, Ramon. Yeah. Oh, Starbucks also reported this week.
Oh, did
Nothing really changed. I honestly it's been sad. I didn't have a ton of time to look into it. I guess we could now though, because I didn't do a whole bunch
of. I need to clarify for Steve real quick. So, I've never heard it referred to as that, but like it is pretty well known that people who go to like raves and stuff like that, they have to like continually drink liquids and like watch their body temperature, because the combination of like the dancing plus the substances can raise your temperature to an unsafe level and cause brain damage. Like, did you ever, when you were in school, go through like a DARE program or whatever against drugs, where like they come in and they tell you why drugs are bad and they tell you all the how you're gonna like keel over dead if you even try them?
Jeez, I don't think so. I mean, like they kind of naturally integrated that into like everything we did, but they didn't have like the former alcoholic.
No. It's like a cop. It's like a cop comes into the school and it's like drugs are bad and like everybody that's on drugs,
I don't remember.
They're gonna die soon and stuff.
Yeah,
and they show us like MRIs of people who supposedly destroyed their brains with MDMA, which is ecstasy. And what really happens in those cases is the body temperature going out of, because fevers can really wreck your brain.
We don't endorse this, by the way, everybody. The Castle Kings don't endorse any of the recreational use.
I'm just explaining the like physiological side of it.
Yeah.
But I would never, ever, not for me, just not my jam.
Not for the Castle Kings. Did you know that Rob Simone lost his job according to Beater Stocks?
Oh, I saw. So Abe was saying that in my Twitter comments, because he's going back and forth with a guy that he thinks is Rob.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that every account that's against MPW is either Rob or Fraser. And yeah, he's been going off like saying like, you got fired from Hedgeye. It's like, okay. And this person, actually, I'm starting to think the person that he's talking to might actually be Rob, because the person is like, I do not know this Rob Simone personally, but what is it that makes you think that he was terminated instead of like leaving on his? It's like, why are you so invested if you're not him or don't know him? You know, it's just it's really weird.
Wow, Dividend dude's really turn a page for the worse. Brain cells during college. That's not
now
good.
Is that because of what you've been doing in your leisure activities, or is it because the lectures seem like beneath you?
I think
in
we
your
know
mind?
what the answer is, Fiscal.
No, I'm just curious. Like, I just want to hear from him, like what he's thinking.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Our boy is back. Retire on Dividends is back under a new name. I love dogs. I hope in a good context. Go pet a dog. That's right, Fiscal. Go pet a dog. He's control. Oh, that's not good.
Okay.
Not bullish. We love you too. Retire.
I appreciate the shout out. No, I'm all right. We'll just say that. Yeah. I'm doing quite well.
Yeah, dividend dude. That's not good. Not bullish. We'll need to have it back on for the Thanksgiving show. Yeah, go to that channel. We don't want you here. We don't like you. Yeah.
the CFK
Pound
channel.
sign, fuckface.
Don't you mean the cash clowns?
That was the funniest thing ever, dude. The guy just comes in. He comes into the show. He's like, yeah. It was the show that our boy and Khmer did their little collaboration for like 2 days, and then it went up
Then
in
they broke up.
flames.
Mhm.
I know that's even more sad than Arya and Dividend, dude. So some guy comes in. He must be one of like the little minions or whatever, and he's like,
for sure.
"Yeah, did you? Yeah, so yeah, he owned them. Did you see what happened? He went on that live show the other night. Oh yes, he destroyed them. He destroyed them. Yeah, you see him? I think they were. I don't know. He knows damn well what our name was. He's like, it's the Cash Clowns. You can hear him like chuckle after.
He got us, buddy. He got us.
Oh, that's the funniest thing ever. Alan, we appreciate that comment.
Yeah, I mean, I get those kind of offers pretty regularly, so we're good.
Whoa. Let the imagination do that one for the audience there. All right, we'll go over Starbucks a little bit here because I think it's relevant to the show. So I pulled up the earnings report. Starbucks today reported its preliminary financial result for its 13-week fiscal fourth quarter and GAAP earnings ended September. For the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2024, comparable global same-store sales declined 7% and consolidated net revenues declined 3% to $9.1 billion, a 3% decline on a constant currency basis. GAAP earnings per share is 80 cents, down 25% year over year, or prior year. Non-GAAP is also down 24%.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing. I would expect on that for the share price to drop. Did it?
I thought it did. No, it didn't.
And the reason is because like anybody that bought it a year ago, they probably, if they use a DCF or something, probably projected growth, not shrinkage. So I think anybody that's in Starbucks should consider possibly reevaluating, to be honest. Especially if you're in the green on it. To me, that's just what I would be doing.
Fiscal philosophy, you banned. Yeah, it's you know what? You can't just abandon your only son. Right now, I would consider like Starbucks. I'm gonna make a perfect analogy right now. So let's say you have a kid, and right now your kid is, let's just say they're 25 years old. They peaked maybe in high school. It was really popping off a few years ago, but they've had a bit of a rough turn since then, if you know what I mean. They're starting using some of the sticky substances, some opioids, fentanyl every once in a blue moon. And your kid comes back to you and they're looking withered, but they go back into a rehab program. So you think that their life's going to get back on track, but you can't really see much change. That's what Starbucks is right now, in my opinion. There's just like a lot of hope for the future, but you haven't seen the results necessarily right now. I mean,
the other side of the coin. So since I gave kind of a pessimistic view, they did yank, Chipotle's CEO, and we had like it's like not even a full quarter yet that they've had him, right? So you can't really say that he's
you
had
can't
time.
really.
So if you're in the camp of like, hey, this new CEO coming on board is actually a really big deal, and I would say in that case, like at least give the guy a year if you think that his coming on board has a substantial significance to the business. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to come in and change. He literally started like this earnings report ended on the 29th, so it's only 3 weeks as him as CEO. It's
yeah, so
more in line with Laxman's performance, if anything, than his.
Yeah,
so
I mean, honestly,
wouldn't be nervous at all. If that's what you guys.
I will say, like, I've when Walgreens got rid of Roz Brewer, I gave the new CEO way too much time, though, in retrospect, right? So,
how much time you give him, you think?
Oh man, when exactly did they fire Roz Brewer?
It was 2 years ago, off the top of my head.
Was it 2022? End of 2022, maybe?
Yeah, 2023, end of 2022, I think.
End of 2022. If that's the case, I think I gave him a full calendar year then, because I sold beginning of this year, basically, or like 1 quarter in, because basically the stuff that they said, they were like, oh, well, she wasn't the right person for the healthcare business and stuff. And then he comes in, and then like a year later, they're like, okay, we're getting rid of the healthcare business. And it's like, what? That's what you came in to fix. Yeah. That's not good. Like I felt a little bit rug pulled by that, to be honest. But I mean, hey, if it wasn't working, maybe it was for the best, but I don't want to be on that journey anymore. So
great quote of the year candidate right here. Pull up on Twitter. This actually will lead us to our next segment. Our good friend Life Invest Money, Worst Finance Takes, puts out a tweet for anyone voting early. How much do you tip your poll worker? Fiscal responds, the only poll workers I deal with are strippers. Wise words. But no seriousness with like tipping culture, because I saw a few interesting accounts make tweets on it that could be guy finance guy talking about like tipping and how American tipping culture is ridiculous. What are your thoughts on that? Because it's financial.
Like how do like for those people that are into politics, like how do you feel about the fact he's gotten political and is very vocally for
I saw it.
Yeah, like how did especially for the people that like agree, like are on the same, like how do you feel like that he's on your side? Does it make like I'd be like,
it's not good in the polls. The betting markets are it's gone down ever since he said a public endorsement for Trump. So
yeah, not a coincidence, by the way. Finance guy doesn't give you a bump; he gives you the opposite.
That's true. No, but with like tipping, I think there's two sides to it. I think like one, it's ridiculous now. Like I'm sure because you travel a good amount, like you have to tip. It gives you the tip option for like the most like low service things ever. Like somebody will cash you out and it's like ad tap. It's like, no, respectfully, no, you cashed me out. You grabbed the hot dog from behind you. I'm not giving you $3 or $4 or whatever when inflation and prices are already up as much as it is.
I guess my perspective is like in most instances where there's like there's an option to tip, even if it doesn't seem like it's mandatory, I usually will anyway. Like if it's something
into it, or
no, I don't feel. It's not that I feel guilty. It's just like, I guess I know how underappreciated some of the like, especially like the food service workers. Like I was at a pizza place in LA, and it wasn't like a formal like waiter waitress thing, but like you go up, you order, like they call your number and stuff, but like they were pretty cool. And when I went to pay for the thing, there was like a tipping option came up on the thing, and there was like also a tip jar if you were paying cash or whatever. And so like I threw them 15%. Like I don't see the big problem with that. It's not like they guilted me into it and they were like, oh, remember to tip or anything. It's just I thought they were really friendly and gave good service. So,
Maybe I'm just a piece of shit then. No, I mean, like, I'd almost rather just give them cash because I feel like the restaurant will like with the digital payments and stuff. I feel like
No, it's hella illegal for them to do that. Um, like there have been times where like I've like low key like just asked like so when like somebody tips on their card like you always get it right and like every single time I've asked somebody that they're like oh yeah we get them, don't worry, because I
okay,
would
so
imagine
that's
most
good.
people tip on card nowadays, so I wouldn't be worried about that. Like a place would have to be the
Yeah,
shadiest of shady businesses to take their employees tips.
yeah. I'll tell everybody a story while we're here. It's the Cash Flow Kings. It's a spooky episode. I'll tell a spooky story. So get ready, everybody. Get the blankets. So we were on a trip over the summer in Chicago. Obviously, I missed CFK for it. One of my friends, he took a 1 hour Uber ride into the city to meet a lady friend.
Yeah, I've been
He
there,
did
done that.
not. So he did not tip on that Uber ride. That was like an hour there and an hour back.
Yeah, he's kind of a
I'm like,
scumbag.
dude, you can't do that. I'm like,
He's gonna get a 1-star passenger rating, and nobody will take his rides if he keeps doing that.
shh. And his excuse was like, the trip was already too expensive in the first place.
Then
I was like,
don't
dude, you
take an
can't
Uber
do that.
if you're broke, bro. Like honestly, I do always tip the Uber drivers when I take Ubers. Um, Food service, it does depend a little bit. Like obviously, like McDonald's is not a tipping establishment,
Yeah.
but if it seems like one of those that could go either way, I just err on the side of being generous. Like honestly, if I'm spending $30 there or whatever, like an extra 5 or 6 so that the person feels appreciated and like has a slightly better income that day. What's the big deal?
Yeah. We're on the kindness arc on the Cash Flow Kings.
I mean, it's just that I'm not going out if I'm in a position where like I really feel the need to clench my pocketbook and
Yeah.
pinch my pennies. Like
Yeah.
if you're that like financially insecure, you should reconsider that you're like going out on your 1 hour Uber ride to begin with, you know.
The 1 hour Uber ride to a place that's controversial in the first place to take an hour long Uber into for a
Yeah.
reason that's also controversial. Steve shares that there's a takeout restaurant near him. It's an online order thing. It asks for a tip, but you don't pay online. Once you pay in person, it asks again for a tip. Oh, I wonder how many double tip. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder where. Jeez, that seems a
Uh,
little sketchy. I'll be honest when it comes to like double tipping. You get to pay.
it seems a little much if it's asking twice. Like I do think that there should be like only one point at which a tip is solicited if they're going to at all, you know.
I gotta find this finance guy tweet about tips because it's just like too good
Yeah.
to not talk
Oh,
about.
wasn't it because he was in Italy and like it was different there
They
or
were
something?
grateful for a cent and they were grateful for a penny.
Yeah.
I'll find it, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. Other countries, it's not seen as mandatory. So, for example, even sit down restaurants in the Philippines of all places, like they don't generally expect a tip. So,
Yeah.
or at least that's what locals have told me when I've taken them out or whatever. They basically said like, "Oh, like yeah, you like that's not expected here." And I'm like, "Okay." Like I asked beforehand because I just wanted to know like what the kind of what the vibe was.
All
So to
right, here
speak.
we go. This is really good. I'm going to bring European tipping etiquette to the United States. That means no tips. If a person goes above and beyond their job, I'll consider a 5 to 10% tip for them.
Oh my god,
That's
a
it.
5% for going above and beyond. Like he's got to
Tired
be
of
like just one of the
paying your
biggest jackasses ever. If he ever tries to become a regular at a restaurant, he is going to get his food spit in. Like I don't think he understands like how much like the staff any place he goes to frequently will hate him if he does that. Or he's just saying it for engagement and wouldn't really actually do that.
very good chance I don't know. He seems like the kind of person that would, if I'm being honest. If you uh managers can take track. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I'd have to ask people if I know anybody in the restaurant industry.
So with cash tips, yeah, it can be an issue where some of the places that they pool tips, like managers could skim
Yeah,
potentially. Yeah.
that'd be a great gig to take.
Yeah.
That's a real passive income source. If you're American, it doesn't matter in the world where you go. They'll imply you're supposed to leave a tip, and it's not in their culture. Yeah,
That hasn't been my
I'd
experience really.
still tip.
Yeah, I mean, I have done like, so if I'm in the Philippines, like if somebody does like go like above and beyond for me, I do leave them like a pretty like a pretty
Well,
substantial
$1 is
tip.
worth like 300 there. So I mean,
No, it's not quite that extreme. But like the first time I went, there was like an assigned guy that like turns over the room every day and stuff and takes care of like all the linens and whatever, and like also just like anything. He's basically a room attendant, and
the
he shows up like,
Philippine hookers, does he get that for you too?
no.
Is that more of a
It's
self-serve?
it's not quite a concierge. Okay, it's
Yeah.
just he's basically just like, comes in, makes sure like everything is cleaned up, sheets and stuff are changed, and anything like that. But he also, I talked to him a little bit, and he was very, very friendly. Like he offered to bring me some balut if I wanted it, which is a Filipino dish that is it's basically like a cooked fertilized chicken egg.
That's nice.
And I politely declined because I wasn't ready to take that walk on the wild side and eat that. But when I left, I did, because he was like, really nice and like, worked very, very hard. He also had to bus 3 hours each way just to work for the equivalent of $10 a day.
That's rough.
And so I left him a tip that was equivalent to 2 days worth of wages, which for me, that's $20. That's like no big deal. But for him, like, it's like, he usually has to bust his butt for like 9 or 10 hours a day for 2 days to make that amount. So I felt like it wasn't like based on a percentage or anything. It was just like what would be significant for him,
Yeah. Okay, Ramon, come back. He said, how much your percentage bracket say your tax is gonna be going? It doesn't matter what bracket you have. It doesn't matter.
Later.
The higher dividends, it doesn't matter. No. Retire on dividends says I've worked in the outdoor guiding service around the world, Nepal, Pakistan, Tanzania, Japan. If I did not get tips, I would end up like Randy from the Trailer Park Boys behind the hamburger stand. I gotta look this up for context. Randy, Trailer Park Boys, hamburger stand. I'm assuming he like did something. Have you ever seen the I don't know what show it is, but it's like I've seen it on Instagram Reels, and it's like a guy, he orders like French toast at a diner or something, and he's like, "Oh, it's cold. Can you send it back?" And the guy goes back and he does all this crazy shit to it. And he's like, "Oh, this tastes really good. It tastes really good. Thank you so much."
That sounds like the movie Waiting, to be honest with you.
I'll look right now. Waiting?
Yeah, because there is a lot of messing with food in that movie. So
okay. Yeah, this isn't it.
Okay.
That's funny though. In France, a waiter will apply it as normal leave a tip. They only say it to Americans, though. They wouldn't dare. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have an issue with tipping. I'm not that cheap.
I think it's probably a little more common in touristy parts of those countries where they actually get Americans a lot. I should ask my dad if he remembers, because he was in France once. Well, actually more than once. And he went to a bunch of like high-end dinners on company dime. So yeah, he might remember if like they tipped or if it wasn't expected or whatever.
Interesting company, by the way. We're on the topic of restaurants. Domino's Pizza. Domino's has been on a bit of a dip as of recently, down 21%. Interesting company, high advancements in technology. I talked a little bit about it with Dan and Fabio. Would you ever consider buying this company? If so, what price? They're currently trading at around a 25 PE.
What, Domino's?
I had like 370, 380 I'd buy probably. More likely like 360.
I mean, I might think about it in the low 20s or something, you know. I would
20.
low 20 PE, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think it's worth like 25x, but you know, maybe 21 or 22 potentially. Although in all likely scenarios, I probably wouldn't really pay attention to it unless it got to like a mid-teens multiple, because I think that's more realistic in the long run for a pizza store.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know how much more Domino's can really grow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
they're saturated.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things I like about them. I've had some good experiences I haven't had Domino's in probably a few years, but back in the day, they were the first place that was near me where you could order online. And it was so convenient that I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to just order some Domino's today.
Yeah.
Because they saved me the trouble of like having to call a place and like read them my address and hope that they wrote it down right and hope that they would find the right apartment number and all that. It's like, no, I just put it in their website and like they just send it to me, you know?
Yeah.
Easy.
Domino's, for those who don't know, Domino's is like the main reason a lot of these companies, like they were the first of all these restaurants that like had like online order delivery and stuff. Like they're the OG of it all.
Yeah. And their mango habanero wings are really good too.
I had it on Thursday, and I thought it was just kind of a pain in the ass to order because we have like a family account. So I was trying to redeem this free pizza. Same order. It was 2 pizzas because I'm splitting it with people, and the cheese bread, which is really good. I recommend it to anybody. It's like $31, even with the free pizza. But then I do like a same order that we've just done in the past, and it's like 25, and it makes no sense. It's a pain in the ass to order a little bit, but it's good. I'll say that. I recommend the pan-made pizzas. They're really good.
So
we can do another mukbang.
I need to push back on. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not from the suburbs because I did grow up in suburbs, but I didn't start ordering Domino's until I moved into the city. So, because in the suburbs, I had a nice Sicilian pizza place called Pietro's I could order from. Yeah, and their pizza is god tier, and I will. Yeah, so
we typically do like local places, but people are out of town, and I had to make do for my own. One could say. Nothing says I'm from the suburbs more than you guys saying I love Domino's pizza.
Yeah.
It's good occasionally, but like you're not getting it every Saturday.
Yeah.
Mexicans make the best pizza. I've never had Mexican pizza, I don't think. I'll pull this up. Expected EBITDA growth. Increase. Recently it's been around the 23 mark. I'll look in the future. Blake's hitting me with all these hard stats. 5-minute warning, by the way, everybody. If anybody wants any last questions, comments, concerns, impersonations, Fiscal to do the dead man impersonation again. He comes up in the chair. Why not? I've never had like proper deep dish pizza. We went to this one place, Giordano's. Do you know that in Chicago?
No.
It was okay. I mean, like,
so The thing is that the place that I was talking about, they have like regular Sicilian style pizza, but then they do offer a deep dish. The deep dish is just so much dough, like
Oh yeah.
and cheese, and like just it's like each piece is like a giant brick in your stomach. I cannot, like, it is like, oh my god, like I honestly it sounds kind of good right now because I'm hungry, but under normal circumstances, like I don't usually dare attempt the deep dish.
The guy from New York says I love Domino's. What an upside down universe we live in. It's good. It's the pan made pizzas are good. I'm not saying they're great. It's definitely not my like top 5 of places, but it's good like occasionally.
Yeah, it's not
Like
like
you
a
can have food that is like not great or like it's just okay or good. Sometimes if the mood catches right, it's a really good meal.
so I heard somebody say, and this probably holds true for Domino's, but they say they were talking about McDonald's in this instance, and they said the reason why they do so well and they've done so and succeeded so much is because they're really good at not sucking. But it's not like McDonald's food is amazing and a life changing experience, but it's a pretty consistent product. You know what you can expect. You know what you're going to get. You know it's going to be pretty good.
This is great. I have been disillusioned all week getting kicked out of Ryan's and Fiscal's Discord because of their frat boy moderators. But boys, you guys are still great, and I will support CFKs. I'll resub CFKs for life with the $sign. Doesn't that bring a warm spot to your heart, Fiscal?
I'll tell you what. I mean, trick or treat.
Oh,
Trick or treat.
Steve needs to have some sort of alter ego where he's a rapper. I think that'd be the funniest thing ever. Ryan and Fiscal always order the deep dish because the Castlo Kings have all the dough. That's quote of the year. Somebody submit that right now.
It's a candidate.
That's great. Fiscal, what are you doing for Halloween this year? It's on Thursday, I think.
I'm probably gonna buy some candy and watch some like classic horror movies.
You know what? Screw it. We'll do a horror movie ranking to end off the night. Ranking tier. What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Probably Halloween.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Absolutely for me.
And I mean the original one from like 1979.
Yeah. I think the 1981 is criminally underrated. A lot of people like to shit on it. I don't know why, but I like it a lot.
The one with Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance and all that.
Dude,
yeah.
Loomis is probably my favorite character in like
Oh
all
yeah,
four.
yeah. No, I love that. Like he was in like all of them up until he died.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Donald Pleasance is great. He was also the president in Escape from New York.
Actually,
Yeah. Donald Pleasance. He was the man in like the late 70s and early 80s.
all right, we got a good list.
Yeah.
No, he's the funniest probably actor.
My favorite quote from him from any Halloween movie
You don't know
is
what that is.
I want to say it's like Halloween 4 or something, where somebody, they refer to Michael Myers as a man, and
He's no man.
He's no man. He's evil on 2 legs.
There's so many Loomis. All right, we'll start off. I'll do the ones I know. It. We'll do the It from 2018.
So I've only ever seen the OG.
Oh, we'll do the OG then.
But I've heard good things about the 2018 one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be willing to give them a good
A tier.
Yeah. But I mean, and we can just make it an average of the two. I'd say A tier. The book and both sets of movies. Yeah.
Okay. The Shining, I vote S tier. That movie's hilarious in its own right.
Red Rum.
I think the funniest part of The Shining is like I'll just randomly post the GIF of Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I think Jack Nicholson
on his face when he's looking out the window.
Yeah, and Shelley Duvall and everything, and it was directed by Kubrick. Like, yeah, it's pretty great. It's classic, like it's iconic. Like, yeah, I think
Dead Meat. It's a YouTube channel. he like goes over all these horror films. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
so entertaining.
Yeah.
That's how I'll be spending my Saturday night after this.
Yeah.
Halloween S tier. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. And that's the OG one. So
Children of the Corn.
B tier for me, to be honest.
tier, I agree.
Like, I think it's definitely classic and everything, but also it's just like, you know, it doesn't hit for me the same as some of the other ones from that era, you know.
Malachi. Jaws. I don't know if that's a horror movie.
Jaw, yeah, no, it is. It's definitely suspense, and like it's like a monster flick.
Okay.
The shark is a monster, basically. Like it's Godzilla in the water. Yeah.
E tier.
I mean, I could put it. I would probably put it in like it definitely deserves B or better. I don't know. Like, where do you place it?
I'd probably put it B. I'm not the biggest Jaws guy. I think it's
good, I mean,
but...
it's pretty iconic. It's classic and everything. But again, it just, for me, it's not one that I go back to all the time. So yeah.
Have you watched the Terrifier movie with Art the Clown?
No, I haven't. I keep seeing it recommended to me on like Amazon Prime, but I never.
Never
got around to it.
Maybe get to it this week. It's okay. I'd give it like a C or B.
Okay.
The production's like not that good, but it does a really good job. Like, it's, I don't know. It's a good movie, but in a weird way. American Psycho with Patrick Bateman.
Oh, honestly, like I would go A tier.
I'd go A tier too.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, like, I don't go back to it all the time, but like I absolutely, there are certain scenes in that movie that like I do absolutely go back to for like clips and stuff.
Yeah,
I like the business cards scene. That whole thing is so unhinged.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I vote A tier.
I'm not a big fan of like of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but so for me it's B tier. But if you like it more than that, then it can go to A tier, because I do recommend it. Is that, then that's the OG one?
Yeah, it's the OG.
Yeah,
one.
Gotcha.
Blair Witch Project.
Ooh, that's tough. So they launched an entire new genre of horror, the found footage genre.
Yeah.
So like if you ever saw, I think like Cloverfield was sort of modeled after it. Just, it was a monster, like a big monster instead of like a witch in the woods or whatever, but it was a similar concept.
You got to give it its respect.
Yeah, I mean, I think it deserves A tier just because of what it accomplished and everything.
Yeah.
But it's not one I go back to all. If I'm going back to the movie all the time and rewatching it like every year or two, probably it goes to S tier, but they deserve some credit on that one. A tier.
All right, I think this is Friday the 13th. We'll just do the original one. I think that goes in S or A, you'd say.
Yeah. I mean, and for the ones where it's like they made a ton of them, I think we're rating the franchise, right?
Yeah,
And I think you know, without Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and like Freddy Krueger, you don't have a horror genre that we have today, right? So yeah.
Scream.
You know, Scream is very clever. I feel like it's not quite as iconic as like Friday the 13th or Halloween, but I think Scream could be a potential A tier for me.
It's good A tier. I'm trying to see what else is on here.
And it's clever. They do a good job like misdirecting you and leaving you hints throughout the movie and stuff. It's pretty cool.
The Exorcist.
Gosh.
I don't love this one.
I don't absolutely love The Exorcist.
C tier.
The problem is that I recognize that it's like groundbreaking work and really well done, well acted and everything. It's just, I don't know. I hate to do it, but I gotta say B tier for The Exorcist for me. That's just my taste. Yeah.
So, I haven't watched any of these on here.
What's gosh, I can't even tell.
Child's Play. That's like Chucky. I know
that's
Chucky.
Yeah. Gosh, I feel like Chucky has to kind of be A tier for me.
A tier.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead.
The original Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
S tier.
S tier.
that they invented zombies. Like we wouldn't
Yeah.
have The Walking Dead without them. So
I think that's it.
so
I can't
all right, so
find any.
the very, very last one on the bottom row is The
Yeah.
Thing.
The Thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think The Thing is S tier for sure.
S tier.
Yeah.
I think that had a reference in one of the Halloween movies. Have you watched the recent Halloween movies?
So only the first of the new ones. So 2018, I went to
Okay.
theaters. But I haven't
on,
seen Halloween Kills or Halloween.
So get on Kills and Ends this week.
All right.
They're definitely not as good as the 81 and 78 ones, but they're still worth watching. They're funny.
Yeah, I mean, I liked 2018. It's just like, I don't know. I get movie fatigue sometimes, and just like kind of don't keep up with them all. So
it's if you want to save the money, watch the Dead Meat recap. I think it's funny and it gets over the plot pretty good. Our slave editor needs to get working on these shorts. Get back to work, boy.
I probably will, at some point. Like it's a good week to go back and watch Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, because I did like the first Halloween 2018. Like I like they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, Halloween Ends sucks. I'm gonna I don't want to spoil anything.
Spoiling.
It's I don't know. You'll see once next week we'll talk about it. And to end off the show, a great quote here from this could be quote of the year. First time I ever saw BOOBS was at the Friday the 13th movies. Amazing cinematography. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with tonight. As per usual, find Fiscal on Twitter at Mr. Macho Mog, the Dead Man. Do you want to do one more rise up for us, Fiscal?
Oh man, I don't. All right, hold on.
I'll pull up the video.
Need to.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning into the Castle Kings Halloween special. It was a fun one. Tune in for next week. It's my birthday special, 10 o'clock Eastern time. It will be a fun time after hours. Thank you all for watching. Smash the like and subscribe. Do dividends, stocks, not drugs. And of course, remember the cash flow is
king.
king. Oh, yeah.